you got an interesting case here coming out of Costilla County. I'm just going to read a little bit of this article. The Federal Appeals Court based in Denver agreed last week that while two property owners in Costilla County have argued the process for permitting their septic tank should look different, the county's existing protocol does not violate their constitutional rights. Now, Billie and Tracy Smith, you got a mother, you got a son from South Carolina, and they're going to sue two Costilla County officials for allegedly depriving them of due process and for taking their property without just compensation. The essence of the dispute was that the Smiths read Colorado law to require the county to issue a permit prior to the installation of their on-site wastewater treatment system, a septic tank, but the county would only issue the permit after the installation. After the installation. A three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit concluded the Smiths do not have a constitutionally protected property interest in a specific permitting procedure, even if Costilla County's conflicts with state law. So the county of Costilla County in Colorado is opposed to the state law. So you have Colorado state law and then the local law. Well, they're the exact opposite. So if you go to Costilla County, well, you just left Colorado and you just went into a whole nother territory. They expected to be able to build a home on the property, and the county's procedure allows them to realize that expectation. Granted, the procedure requires them to work in a sequence they do not prefer. Oh yeah, it's about the sequence. Judge Joel M. Carson III in the October 11th order said, but they must expect occasional restrictions on the use of their property. Okay, so I have some experience with this. Now, Billie and Tracy Smith, they're a mother and son from South Carolina, and I'm glad that they did this because even though they didn't win their case, we can learn from their case. The 10th Circuit Court of Appeals is going to say that it's okay to issue a septic tank permit at the end. You don't understand the definition of the word permit. The definition of the word permit is to give authorization or consent to somebody to do something. You give them a permit so they can build a septic tank. So what they're asking them to do is they're saying, go ahead and build the septic tank from South Carolina. You build the septic tank from South Carolina. And then after you built that septic tank, after you dig the hole, get it delivered, put it into the hole, after you do all that stuff, then you can get the permit. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. So there is a Jason Medina who had gave me a permit without signing it. He was like, thank you for your application. And he essentially gives me a permit, but this is just like the DeShaney case. You have these goddamn public officials not signing the damn thing and pretending that they're not going to be under the color of law. So the big problem with Billie and Tracy is that they use the wrong constitutional argument. They're saying that they were denied due process. They are being denied due process. But let's put that to the side for a second. They're also being denied equal protection. And they're also being denied the 7th Amendment. You have a right to a civil jury trial for any matters that's over $20. So if it's over $20, they're going to say later on that Coleen Romero, she is both a county employee and she's a private contractor. And they're sitting there saying that she didn't act under the color of law. She sits in that damn planning and zoning office. She's sitting in the office as a county employee and she's a private contractor. That's a conflict of interest. When Jimmy Carter became president, they made him sell his peanut farm so that way he's not profiting off to the side. So Coleen Romero is getting all this money from the county of Costilla, and then she's getting all the money from being the designer of septic tanks. And then she does the soil sample too. So she'll do the soil sample, take your money, and then fuck you over and say your soil isn't good enough. If your soil happens to be good enough, then she'll draw up a design, and then she acts like a fucking authoritarian piece of shit. So why would she act like an authoritarian piece of shit? Because she thinks that because she's on the county side, she could force you into compliance and force you to pay her money. When I went to the Costilla County Police over Coleen Romero, they didn't give a shit. Hunter Velasquez is going to lie on the stand on behalf of Coleen Romero. You remember when I went to you over Coleen Romero, Hunter Velasquez? He says no on the damn stand. So they're not above lying. They're not above perjuring themselves, and they protect their buddies and their friends. Why don't you just pay her money? She didn't give me the design. I paid the money, and she didn't do the design, and she didn't give me the design. She wanted me to turn the design in at the same time at the county in order to lock me in to that damn design. Instead of saying, here's the design, and then seeing if I approve of it, and then me taking that design to the damn county, she wanted to do that all at the same time. Eventually, me and her came to, some kind of resolution on the thing, but it was bullshit. It was absolute bullshit. So Billie and Tracy's problem is that they're using the wrong constitutional argument. They're saying that they didn't say anything about not following state law. So in their 1983 case, they didn't say that there was a violation of due process because the laws of Costilla County conflicted with the state law. They did not bring that up as an argument. Also, they didn't say denied due or equal protection. So they were taking the due process clause. They're trying to take the procedural, substantive procedural. They're trying to take the 14th Amendment route to the thing. And they did it right, but they did it wrong. So what you need to do is sue Coleen Romero and Medina, whatever. You'd have to sue her, and with the due process clause, you'd have to say that they're depriving you of the 7th Amendment right to a trial for any matters over $20. For any civil matter over $20, you have a right to a jury trial. So if they were to refile a 1983 claim, or for anybody in the future, they would have to say that they were denied equal protection. How are they denied equal protection? Well, let's see here. You got Robert Pickerel, you got Noah Spalding, you have Gary Gonzalez / Phil Greeny. Let's see here. Who else do you got? Hiram Richardson. A whole bunch of people in Costilla County don't pay for their septic tank permits. The only way you could actually make it in Costilla County is you don't pay for the permits. You go ahead and build your house, and then you got to have guns, and you got to join the Nazis or the Crips. And I would recommend joining the Crips, because who the fuck wants to be a goddamn Nazi? Now, while planning and zoning is fucking you over, well, the Nazis or the Crips are going to be fucking you over too. There's a big problem with right-wing sovereigns.